Money into energy. A lot of the time, a lot of emotions get in the way of our success around finances or accepting finances or the energy of finances into our lives. And often we can hang out, if I call it a house, in the house of doubt, in the house of regrets, the house of poverty. And if the house of regrets were in the system and we're in that house thinking, I regret my past, or I doubt that I can be successful financially, these houses will keep you out of accepting finances. Money as a currency has no emotions. It doesn't care if it's 100 euro or €1 million or €1 billion. It has no emotional connection with you. How many of us can say that we don't have an emotional connection with €1 million or 500,000 or 1,000, or try handing over 5,000 cash to somebody? So see what happens to your system. So in this webinar, I want to focus on releasing all the trauma bonds, all the emotions connected to finances, and then all the stories, or maybe the houses we're hanging out in because there was bankruptcy or poverty in my system, in my genetics. So I'm going to work with all the epigenetic memory fields and emotions and houses that we hung out in, or our ancestors experienced of losing homes, for example, or poverty or starvation. Because if the starvation house is in my genetics, of course I have a money topic. Of course I have hoarding in the system. There's no flow. So in this webinar, I want to go really detailed through all the houses you may be hanging out in around money. The evil house, maybe it's the religion. So what houses are you hanging out in around money? What emotions do you have around money? How do you feel when you spend money? How do you feel when you receive money? What emotions are coming up in your system? This makes a huge difference in your life. You will have what you can receive. So when you're ready, when it becomes neutral in your system, you can have your million. When it becomes neutral, you can have your billion. So they're all different frequency. And this is what I learned while working with large amounts of money and supporting people to have large amounts of money, that we needed to clear the emotional connection or the ancestral mindsets or the ancestral houses or conditioning which they were hanging out in around judging themselves about receiving finances, or I don't deserve finances. So I'm going to work in these 4 hours with clearing all the bondage, all the emotions around money, finances. I have done a lot of money webinars, and this one is working in another level. So I'm going to work very, very deeply, as I say, clearing these emotional imprints and working with it as a frequency. So, as I said, if you have got, for example, risky behavior around money, wastefulness, for example, wastefulness, then it means that there's a spirit of waste in your system. And then you're connecting to everybody else's wastefulness in their system. So then they'll misuse your money. So it's all a frequency. So if we work with one frequency, it's going to transform the entire system. So this is what I'll be working with over the weekend, and let's see what else comes in between now and tomorrow. And if you can't make it, you can watch it later as a recording. All the webinars in the Academy are there because each time you watch them, the resistance comes up, then you clear it, and then you watch it again, then you have another activation and another clearing and another transmission. So everything in the system is a whole system, and everything in the academy is a whole system. So all the billionaire webinar I did before as well, they all work in the system, but they're working on different systems. So this is a continuation of all the money programs I've done so far at an extremely cheap entry point. I know the true value of these webinars, and it's my responsibility, and it was my choice to keep them at an affordable price. I know I can charge a lot of money for these webinars because I'm giving transmissions of billions, the possibility of billions. So I want to offer everybody this opportunity to not be enslaved by finances or not to block your finances. We're all here and we can all enjoy our finances and enjoy to share them with our families. So I want to open up the space so everybody has the availability in their lives to not be enslaved, not be fearful, not be envious, not be jealous, and not be controlled by money. That you are the creator. And this is what I'd like to offer to everybody who wants to be involved in this, that you can increase your finances so you can change your life, your family life, your children's life, and you don't have to worry about money. That you can live your dream or create the new projects you're here to do on your destiny level. So this is the offering that I'm opening space for over the weekend. And yeah, I feel it will support you to feel much more comfortable and also much more present and much more embodied in life and confident and comfortable. I know when I started this work in the beginning, I had a very, very strong inner voice telling me before I started to do this work that I should earn a certain amount of money before I started doing this work full time. I didn't know at the time why I was getting that message because I didn't know that I was doing this work. But it was interesting how Spirit set me up in a way that I didn't have scarcity in my system, that I had a foundation for starting this work. And that foundation supported me not to have to worry about the bills. And then I went further and further. So the system is really nice if you're doing this work, that you do have a good foundation of finances in the system. So you don't have to be doing work or sessions or workshops for money. The money is the ripple effect, but you're doing it because you love to do it and you're in your maximum potential. And that maximum potential can be opening up millions, billions, whatever it is for you. I work with some amazing billionaires and they're doing incredible work in this planet, changing the planet. So it's really about what is your intention. And this is what I want to bring in over the weekend. So you're in your 0 point, your heart space, and you can work with the wealth frequencies and the frequencies of money in a way that is the higher purpose. And your negative ego is not blocking them or nobody else is getting in the way. So have a beautiful, beautiful evening or day wherever you are. And if you feel like coming into this space, it will really work deep on activating your system if that's what you'd like to be part of. Thank you, everyone.